Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. Welcome back. This is part 2 of the riots between the Bisons and the white boys. Just to recap a little bit, if you missed the first episode, the Bisons are armed. There's over 250 of them on the yard, and they're marching towards the white boys. There's only 17 of them lined up on the fence. Now, to their credit, to the white dudes, they could have slipped through that gate between yard 2 and yard 3, but none of them ran. They all put their back to the fence and just waited, literally waiting for their death. I'm on the corner standing. You know, when you're in a situation like this, it's like you go into a trance. Everybody's got tunnel vision. They're caught up in the euphoric of whatever it is that's going on. In my experience, all you need is something loud to snap them out of it. You know, boom, a cushion grenade or a gunshot would snap everybody out of it and will get everybody on the ground and prevent the slaughter that's about to come. I'm on the corner as the Bisons are leaking out, walking towards us, and they're taking their time. They're not in a hurry. They're just, like I said, they're like in a zone. They're just walking towards us. Each and every one of them's got knives. I look up at the gun tower. The window's not open. In my mind, I'm telling the man, open the window, shoot a freaking bullet in the air, throw out a cushion grenade like you do every time. You can see that something is about to freaking happen. When people group up in a mass like that, it's not for show. Something is about to jump off. You're in the freaking gun tower. You can look out and see that these dudes are about to blow his shit up. The gun tower never even opened the window. When we got into the riot with the GDs, the gun tower slid open, boom, 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 quick. Right now, nothing. And everything is quiet. There's no hollering from the Mexicans as they march towards us. The white boys, they're not on the fence, hype them out, trying to hype themselves up or anything. Everybody was just silent, just waiting for what's about to happen. Now, the Mexican starts coming towards me. Like I said, I started out by the poker table to try to force them to walk through the table to get to them. But they started expanding out further, where someone was on top of the track coming towards me. And I didn't want to be in the middle where I have one dude walking on this side, another dude walking that side. So I backed up all the way to the fence. I'm in the corner. The white boys are lined up right here. The homies are lined up right here. I'm right in the corner of the track. And like, I don't know how to explain these things to you as far as my mindset. Was I afraid? Was I concerned? I mean, I'm sure I was, but none of those thoughts processed in my head. The only thing I heard in my head was, stay away from the tip. Stay away from the tip because it's hot. It's a hot summer day, and all of them's got knives just walking towards us, and all I can see is like the sparkle of the tip from the reflection of the sunlight. And I was just like, stay away from that, stay away from that. But everything else didn't matter. I think in these moments, when I get into these moments, I operate more on a subconscious level. I'm not conscious of what I'm doing. It's almost like I go into autopilot. And it's been like that in every situation in my life. I don't even know how I'm able to do certain things, but somehow I've survived these situations that I've gotten myself into. I went to prison for robbery, bank robbery, jewelry store robbery, Circuit City robbery. I was kidnapping people. I was doing a lot of crazy shit. I was kicking in doors, plucking people in the living room on the couch. I got charged for all these things. When I was trying to come home, I got charged for these things. But when I get into these mode, everything slows down for me. And it's just whatever needs to get done to get through the situation to survive. So when they're coming, thinking back, trying to share with you my thought process, I can't remember any thoughts going through my head other than stay away from the tip. And like I said, they backed me all the way up to the fence because I didn't want one of them walking on this side of me, in front of me, and around me. I just remember standing in the corner. I don't notice anybody else but the ones that's coming towards me. I look back, the white boys are lined up on the fence. My homies are lined up over here, but I'm not really conscious of them. I see the first guy that reaches me, and I just launch. Bop. I hit him, and I'm scuffling with him. Boom, boom. I'm fighting one, then I'm fighting two, and I'm getting swarmed. I'm not here to exaggerate, fabricate, or make the situation any crazier or any more dangerous than just the facts. But I ended up fighting about 4 or 5 of them with knives coming towards me. And my only thing was just keep my hands moving, keep my hands moving. Boom. They knocked my glasses off. My glasses broke. I don't know where it went. I'm just in there just keeping my hands moving, keeping them in front of me, trying to stay on my toes. I don't know if I'm getting stabbed. I don't feel anything. All I know is just I'm in survival mode and I'm swinging. Bah, 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 bah. I see, I got cut across the face a couple times with the tip of the ice pick, but it was just a scratch because I remember them just swinging for my face, because they're all holding their knives like, one thing I've learned in my experience that I've had in confrontations that had to do with weapons. If you're serious and you know what you're doing, you don't hold your knives this way with the blades coming out this way. You hold it this way, with the blades coming out this way. The reason for that is if you hold it this way, you might end up stabbing yourself while you're trying to fight. But if you hold it this way, you can fight and stab at the same time. Because a lot of people hinder themselves when they try to hold it this way, because now the only angle they can come at you is like this. So when they're doing it like this, they can't really put their hands up to fight. So when they're going like this, you can tax them, bop, 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 and so all these dudes, these spices, these 4 or 5 that was in front of me, all they're doing was just swinging like this while I'm just taxing them. But I'm not a big dude and I don't have that knockout power, so I'm not knocking any of them out, but I'm just keeping them off of me enough to where they can't get no free swing on me. So I just hit them, pop, 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 pop. And I didn't get knocked down to the ground, but I fell down to the ground. My glasses broke. I can't really see. So when I fell, and I don't know what caused me to fail, but I'm just in a scuffle. And like I said, I don't know how long this was going on. I don't know anything else that's going on around me. I just know I'm in a fight for my life. And all I'm doing is keeping my limbs moving. But when I fell, I got up as quick as I could. I just popped right back up and got in my little stance, ready for the next wave. And I see the bisons running from me. But I'm sure they weren't running, but they were running away from me. And I backed up and I'm looking for my homies. I'm looking around for my homies and I don't see any of them. They're all the way down the track with Bryson. At this time, I don't know what they've been doing because, like I said, I can only focus on surviving the encounter that I had. I see Bryson all the way down at the grass by the bocce court in his little stance. And prior to this incident, just to move before this shit jumped off, we had brought out about 100 sodas for my poker tables for the homies. So we got a laundry bag full of sodas. I see the Bisons run to our poker table. Like, we weren't even conscious to grab the sodas, and use it as a weapon. But the Bisons did. They ran to our poker because, we're all on the fence now. The whole yard is theirs. There's 250 some of them. The whole yard is theirs. And so they went and grabbed the sodas, and I see Bryson down there in the field, like doing Matrix, ducking the sodas. They're throwing at him. They didn't want to get close to him. Like I said, I don't know what exactly transpired while I was in the scuffle, but all I see was Bryson ducking the sodas, and now the sodas are getting thrown at me too. But I'm a little further from the soda than Bryson is, But they're trying to throw sodas at us, and I back up, and I look, I back up, keep my eyes on the soda that's being thrown at me, and I'm watching, and I look up at the gun tower, and I'm screaming in my head like, "Pop the door, do something, throw a rock, shoot somebody, cushion grenade anybody." I mean, they have all sorts of shit that they have in the gun tower that they can use to defuse whatever's going on in the yard. But that motherfucker in the gun tower never once opened that window. So when I look to my left, that's where all the white dudes were lined up on the fence. They were all pressed up against the fence. And there's 3 rows of Mexicans trying to get at them, stabbing them. The first 2 rows are stabbing them. The other 3 and 4th rows has sodas, and were just busting their head with it from behind. They're all on the fence just getting juked. Wow, you can see the fence moving as their bodies being pressed against it. And a lot of them that was on that yard were my friends. I had an old man, Chili. He was about 60 years old. He had done a bid, went home, and whatever, ended up getting another 20-year sentence. He was there playing at my poker table. Didn't have a clue of what was going on. He was out there. He's 60 years old. He didn't run, though. He stayed there. He was on the front line. There's some youngsters, some white boys that were youngsters. I don't know their name, and I don't really care to know their name. They were hiding behind him instead of being in front of him, protecting him. All of them are lined up on this side of the fence, and I can see they're just getting stabbed up. 2 rows of Mexicans stabbing them up. The other 2 rows behind them are hitting them with freaking soda bottles, soda cans. And behind me on the east side fence, I can hear the guards running. They're running over there. But these cowards did not pop the gate. They got mace. They got their canisters of mace. They got their freaking beanbag. They got their shotgun. They're armed to the teeth. But none of them popped that fucking gate and came in. They lined up on the fence behind me, and the fucking punk-ass captain, I can hear him on the radio, "I'm authorizing live rounds. I'm authorizing live round. Get the live rounds out here. Get the live rounds out here." There's live rounds right up there in the gun tower. You got 2 COs sitting in that motherfucking gun tower. The whole time, the window never popped open. He's behind me on the other side of the fence with another 20, 30 COs. They all came running. On the west side fence, they're all lined up. On the east side fence, they're all lined up outside. Like this. The fingers in the fence. I can hear them. "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Bitch, throw a rock. Do something. Pop." That shotgun is loud. When you see that gun, you're not thinking, "Oh, it's a beanbag, it ain't gonna kill me." All you see is a gun and it's gonna shoot something at you. Shoot the motherfucker. Like, I'm authorizing live round. I'm authorizing live round. I'm like, man, fuck your live round. Pop the gate. Do something. Them motherfuckers never did shit. Never popped the gate. Never came in. Never sprayed nobody. Never shot nobody. The gun tower's window never opened. They're so quick when there's about 3 dudes or 2 dudes jumping each other or a couple dudes fighting to pop that motherfucking window and shoot them. Here you got a fucking host of dudes stabbing each other or a host of dudes stabbing a group, and you never pop that window open. You never even stuck a barrel out that window. I'm sitting there watching them, and they're getting juked up. They're getting juked up, you know. I turn around, I see my friend Mateo. He's a white dude. He's real good friends with my homeboy Fam. He works in commissary. He's a biker. He doesn't come out to the yard. He just works. He minds his own business. He doesn't get into any of the politics. But he was out there that day getting a suntan of all days. And the shit jumped off. And he's standing behind me. So when I come out the scuffle, and I'm getting my stance because there's still a wave of them coming. There's 250 of them coming. I see you, Mateo, run behind me. You know, part of me is like, hey, why aren't you up here fighting with me? But Mateo never acted like he was tough, never talked that shit. He was just doing him, just a nice, quiet dude, humble. And he wasn't built that way. He never projected himself like he was somebody that went hard or hardcore or tough. So, like, even those individuals, I appreciate them because they're being themselves. So I don't really hold anything against Mateo for not coming up the line to fight with me. The one I was upset was Rodney Joseph and his cousin Blaster. They were also standing behind me. And I'm looking, I'm like, why the fuck aren't you 2 motherfuckers up here with me fighting these fucking paisas? These are big dudes. Rodney Joseph used to be a professional boxer. He's ended up in a corner behind me. So the paisas are still coming. So I step out the way to let one of them go through to see if they're going to get their hands dirty. So he walks past me a few inches, a few feet past me, but I don't see Rodney or his cousin moving up to come in and deal with it. And I just can't stand and watch. So I crept up behind the paisa. So I ran up behind the paisa, hit him some more. Bam, and I'm on top of him. Bop, 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 bop. But while I'm on top of him, I feel 2 dudes behind me. I'm pretty sure they were stabbing me. But at the time, your energy, your adrenaline is rushing. So I'm turning around and I'm fighting that one. But the homie Easy from Glendale came to help me and started piecing them up. And like, again, they all ran back. After when Easy came, they all ran back. They all got off me and ran back and grabbed some more sodas, So I'm just trying to catch my breath. I can't really see now because I wear glasses. My glasses is broke. So I just see a blur. My vision, like after this far right here, everything's blurry. I can make out faces, I can make out figures and stuff like that. I can even recognize people, but nothing's clear. So they all run back to the table. And the people over here, they're still juking the white boys. The fence is still rocking with the white boys pressed against it, getting stabbed. And how it ended not from any intervention from the fucking staff, from all these tough-ass COs, from his tough-ass warden or fucking captain. Because I promise you, them bitch motherfuckers never did anything. Never sprayed nobody, never threw a rock, shot nobody, nothing. The Mexicans got tired. They got tired of stabbing up the white boys. They were on there 3 rows deep, hitting them. They got tired. And they finally fucking left and went back into the soccer field and laid down on the ground. You know, screaming and hollering, all the, you know, all that shit, whatever. And when they left, all you saw was white boys laid out on the sidewalk. Blood everywhere. Like, I know some of them are dead. They're all laid out on the sidewalk. When the Pisces went back to the soccer field and laid down, that's when them coward-ass COs popped the gate and came through and start, everybody on the ground, everybody on the ground. Bitch, we're already on the ground. You know, I get comments and how you feel about, you know, why you feel like you hate these people and stuff. These are the reasons. You know, when it's time to do their job, they're cowards. They're only tough when it's a group of them, when they know you can't do nothing to them because they're going to take your ass to court. When it's time to show their fucking nuts and be a man and do their fucking job, nah, they ain't doing it. So many times I've seen let people get killed because the bitch motherfucker was scared. But it's okay to be scared. A lot of people are scared in situations like this. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to knock you, hold thing against you if you're scared. But every other time, don't fucking act like you tough. You want to act tough when it's safe for you. When somebody's in shackles and handcuffs or in a black box, or you tough as fuck. That's why I get adamant and feel the way I do about this shit. Anyway, we get on the ground. We're on the east side fence. All the homies are laid up on the ground. All the white boys, they're on the ground, but they're not laying down on the ground. They're just flat on the ground. Pools of blood all around them. They start coming, pulling people off the yard. They pull the white boys off the yard first to put them in between the units. And they had this white boy named Goose that was in my block. When they pulled him out, he still had a knife stuck through his bicep. Just stuck through his bicep. They pulled him out. Everybody that could get up on their feet, they pulled him out. There was like 4 or 5 older white dudes that was just flat on the ground. They brought in the stretchers. You know, now they got their guns out. They got their live rounds. They run in there. You know, they're securing the area or whatever. All the Bisons and Mexicans are on yard or on the soccer field. We're laid down on this side of the fence, on the track, and they got stretchers. And they're picking the white boys up and putting them on a stretcher and rolling them out. So when they cleared them out, you know, we're Asian, we're on, you know, so they know the beef is between the Bisons and the white boys. So they weren't really concerned that we got involved or anything like that. Like I said, I don't know what anybody else did in that situation. I just know what I was doing. I didn't have time to watch to see if somebody else was doing anything or not. So finally they came and got us, and took us directly to the unit, made us go to all of our respective unit. Boom, boom, boom. So me and Bryson go into the unit. You know, we're still amped up. You know, our adrenaline is still going. We're still amped up. We go in the unit. They lock us, you know, they lock the door, secure us in our cells, lock the doors. And we're sitting there just trying to compose ourselves about the situation. I've never been in a situation like that. And I wasn't really fearing fear or anything, but I'm kind of excited because I just survived a fucking riot. I just survived fighting 4 or 5 motherfuckers with knives. So, yeah, I'm a little amped up. You know, I'm still trying to compute, trying to process all the shit that just happened. And like I said, my vision at the time was nothing how it was when I came back out. You know, the field is flat. But when when the thing was going on, like I said, I looked like I was on a hill looking down at these people when they were coming up. So they got us secured in ourselves. And, you know, maybe, I don't know how long the time span is. It might have been an hour, might have been 30 minutes, it might have been 2 hours. But we can hear them opening the doors to come and check do a body check. You know, if you got bruises or stab wounds, because they're trying to find out who's all involved in the riot. So me and Bryce, they're doing body checks. So I started looking at Bryce, and I see blood coming out of the back of his arm. I said, "Oh, bro, you got stabbed." And I started counting them out. Bryson got stabbed maybe 3 or 4 times on his arm, and he's got stabbed about like 10 times in his side, in his arm, in his forearm. Like one of his forearm was deep. It seemed like the blade, the ice pick just went in and dug under his skin, because there was like a bruise, a long bruise, and then a hole. But these are ice picks, so your wound seals up, you know. So I get the soap, you know, and we start scrubbing his wounds. I get the toilet paper. I roll them up in like a little Q-tip, stick them inside the hole. And over there, we mail our letters out with mailing labels. So I have a rack of mailing labels that I printed out. You know, the mailing labels, the regular mailing labels. I peeled them off. I stuck, you know, the toilet paper in the wound and taped it up with the mailing label to keep the bleeding. You know, and I looked in the mirror. That's when I seen, you know, I had a beard. You know, I'm like one of the only Asians that can grow a beard, right? I don't really cut my hair or shave. The only time I cut my hair or shave is when my wife comes to visit me. Outside of that, I just let it go until it gets too long or whatever. But I'm looking and I see blood on my cheek, you know. So I look, you know, I spread my beard apart and he cut me across my face twice. But it was just like a scratch, you know. And I'm looking around my body and I'm looking at, you know, at my thing. I'm like, ooh, I'm like, shit, I got away. They didn't get me. They didn't get me, you know what I mean? So we're standing there waiting for them to come do the body check. I mean, there's no way for us to hide all the fucking mailing labels that we just put on Bryson. You know, he got like stabbed up like 10 times. So, but I'm standing at the door. Bryson is standing behind me, because we can hear the keys and hear the COs talking. And, you know, like I said, I'm thinking like, hey, man, I got away. Like, they didn't even get me. I was punishing them. And Bryson's like, oh, bro, they got you, bro. So we talking about, well, look, watch. So Bryson grabs a piece of toilet paper and he puts it down by my spine. And he pulled it up and he showed me, and it was blood. I got stabbed right over my lower back, right on my spine. It didn't hit my spine, but it was right there. Like a 1/4 inch one way or another, I would have been paralyzed. You know, when he showed me that, oh, I got so mad. I was like, motherfucker. Because I know the reality, I could have got paralyzed, you know. So fucking Bryson went and cleaned my wound, cleaned it up. I got stabbed twice. I got stabbed right there and one on the side right here. But it was just an ice pick. You know, I don't, you know, here there's still a little scar, and the other one, I can't see it, you know. But it's just an ice pick, so when it pulls out, the wound closed, you know, but you can see where the skin was busted open from the puncture, you know. So anyway, we cleaned it up, did the same thing, put some toilet paper on it, whatever, taped it up with a mailing label. You know, like I said, before that shit happened, even till now, I never really sat around and thought about it, but just rehashing the story to you, is like, yeah, I could have got seriously fucked up. And through the grace of God, I didn't. But you know, I think what saved me was what Bryce was doing. You know, when they ran from me, when I came out of the scuffle and they were running, like I said, they weren't running from me. I don't have no power or anything. I'm quick, and I was just keeping my limbs moving just enough so they couldn't get no free shots on me, but to keep them at bay, I was taxing them. But Bryson, he was knocking them out, and that's who they were running from. Which, if Bryson wasn't out there and put that fear in them, I would have got swarmed. I would eventually, it would have been too much. There's 250 of them. I was only fighting like 5 of them, but eventually others would have came to their aid, and I would have got overwhelmed, and I would have been on the ground just getting chopped up like the white boys. But, we went to sleep that night. When I woke up, I slept on my back because I know that I don't want to sleep on my side or my stomach because it's internal bleeding. They stabbed me with an ice pick. And I don't know the damage they caused. So I don't want to sleep on my stomach or my side and have my body get filled up with blood. So I slept on my back. When I woke up the next morning, my sheet was soaked with blood. And for the next 2 weeks, I was coughing up blood in my cell. Like I think the second or third day, the PA, which is a pharmaceutical assistant or whatever, they're the doctors that come past people pill lines and sign you up for sick call, which is for medical. A little short lady came, her last name is Putin. Putton. She's I have a rapport with her because I've been to medical a few times, and I say, hey, because I'm coughing. I can't stop coughing, and I'm coughing up fucking black shit, blood. So I knock on the window, and I'm telling her, I say, hey, I think I got the flu. I don't want to tell her I got stabbed over my spine. I don't want anybody to know that any of the staff to know that I was involved in the situation. I say, hey, I think I got the flu. She's like, oh, all right, we'll come back and get you. Man, we were locked down for like 2 months. Bitch never came back. I was coughing up shit. I was coughing up black shit. I was coughing up blood for like 2 weeks. And again, through the grace of God, I healed up. I survived. And I'm able to be right here, right now with you, sharing you the story. But, there's more to it. I've taken up enough of your time for today. So come back tomorrow. I'll share you the rest. Welcome to the USP.